It's been a while since I said this, but please stop buying Philips Hue. It only encourages them to continue to churn out their subpar products with preposterous price tags. This ceiling light, for example, is 204 quid for the largest version, which is still much smaller than the Aqara equivalent, kicks out 1,000 lumens less light, and costs more than 50 quid more than the Aqara light does. What? Hello, Nationwide. Yes, I'd like to remortgage my house, please. Why? Well, you see, I'd like to put Philips Hue in every room of my house, so I can spend the rest of my life walking around in the dark bumping into things. More importantly, though, the Philips Hue light doesn't do this. Red alert.
Klaxon Ries Blajblanarnik Karnik. Traswula.
Aqara have finally released another lighting product after the Aqara T1 LED strip that they released last year, and, as usual, it's 6 billion times better than anything Philips Hue have ever made. Check this out. Thanks to Aqara for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their Matter-enabled T1M ceiling light. This is a Zigbee-enabled ceiling light that works with Amazon Alexa, Google Home, Home Assistant, and Apple HomeKit. This light, as well as looking absolutely stunning, also acts as a Zigbee repeater for your other Aqara products, which means if you are an Aqara fanboy like me, it will help extend the range of your Aqara-based Zigbee gear. The main light on this bad boy... Do the kids not still say bad boy to describe inanimate objects? Bad boys, what you gonna do? Oh. Okay then. The main light on this bad boy is a super bright white light that can be adjusted between warm white and cold white from 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. I can't hear the word Kelvin without thinking of the Wonder Years. Stop it, Winnie. Leading him on. Anyway, this... I'm not allowed to watch the Wonder Years anymore. Anyway, the main light is super bright, and unlike a lot of smart home products I've tried, is actually enough to fill a room with light. And as well as the main light, you also get this gradient ring, which I think might just be my favourite thing ever. Installation is the usual 3-core cable. You'll find it dangling out of your ceiling, and you just connect the live earth and neutral. And as has always been the case, electricity isn't in the least bit dangerous. Get to the point. Electricity is very dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, don't even attempt this. But with that said, after turning the electric off, confirming the electric is off with a known working multimeter, and then carefully screwing this thing to the ceiling, it really is just a like-for-like swap of the cables. Once you've physically installed it, you just follow the wizard to add the light to the app, and this just involves putting the light into pairing mode by turning it on and off 5 times, and then searching for it. Nothing beats following a wizard.
You shall not pass!
Sorry. The main light and the color ring can be controlled separately in the Aqara app for power, brightness, on-off, and the effects too, and both lights are advertised to Alexa, Google Home, and Apple HomeKit independently as well. The ambient light can be set to a solid color if you want, which is great for if you plan to watch a movie and just want a bit of purple in the ceiling, but the ambient effects are stunning, and you can create your own if you wanted some specific colors that you can then animate or set to static. All of those effects can then be exported as a scene to either Amazon Alexa or Apple HomeKit. You might be able to do it in Google Home. I don't care. Google, we're just a preposterous load of crap. It's not a real advert. It should be. This light also supports adaptive lighting for Apple HomeKit, which is awesome. If you haven't seen this before, it basically means that the light can start out on a cool white, and then as the day goes on, slowly transition into a warm white. I've personally never done this, but my mate Shane from Shane Creates has, and he's made a tutorial to show you how you can do it too. Go check in the description, I shall link Shane in there. He's the best. Really, really cool guy. Shane actually pointed out in his review that you could use the colored light for notifications, which is a really cool idea because it works with Apple HomeKit and it works with Amazon Alexa, which means that I could have it so that every time the doorbell was pressed, it would do like a red alert thing. I'd know that the doorbell had been pressed even if I had my headphones on. You could use this for timers or alarms or anything really that you can trigger using a smart home routine, and this is probably the coolest thing about this light. Listen, I know that nobody wants yet another smart home gateway in their life. Where are you going? Don't leave. Listen, right, I've told you guys before, this is an Aqara Zigbee gateway. Rather ridiculously, so is this sexy voiced cat.
Normal link confirmed.
Stupid sexy cat. Apparently Matter doesn't yet work with Apple HomeKit for adaptive lighting. This isn't a huge issue because it means that you can just use the traditional way of connecting this thing to Apple HomeKit and do adaptive lighting that way. The Matter thing really is kind of future-proofing this system, so you have that kind of confidence going forwards that you will be able to use Matter down the line. But currently, Matter doesn't support adaptive lighting for Apple HomeKit, and apparently Matter only works for this product when you use the Aqara M2 hub specifically. Aqara do a whole bunch of Matter-based hubs, so I don't know why that is the case. That won't be the case forever. Aqara will roll out an update and eventually this product will work on all, but I thought it was worth mentioning. In the meantime, as I said, you can still use the traditional way of connecting this to Apple HomeKit, Amazon Alexa, and Google Home. And Home Assistant.
Home Assistant! Home Assistant! Home Assistant!
I said earlier that you can export scenes to, say, Amazon Alexa and Apple HomeKit and maybe Google Home. Like I said, I don't care, because Google, our automations and integrations are utter garbage. Pop us in a bin. For example, if you wanted to be able to call the rainbow scene using your face hole, you would have to create a routine in Alexa that called that scene. For Apple HomeKit, you have to do a bit of a workaround too, and if you go and watch Shane's video, which I'll link in the description, he'll walk you through how to do that. And finally, if your wife is like mine, she will delight in endlessly turning the light switch off at the wall, which means the light becomes entirely unresponsive. I have a bunch of solutions to this, and only one of them involves burying her under the patio. The best solution is to either wire the light to be permanently on and then cover it over, or preferably swap the light switch with an Aqara-based light switch. The Aqara light switch can then be programmed up to act as a remote for the ceiling light instead of traditionally cutting the power on and off, which is a genius solution. This light is stunning, and it's worth its price tag just for the color temperature alone. There is very little out there on the market right now that is this big and this bright that can actually change the color temperature of your room, and that alone is super, super important. Aside from that, it is a really premium feel. The whole thing is constructed really well, and I love the way that the light eases on. Aside from that, the ring light around the edge really will be useful for giving me notifications to let me know that somebody is at the door, and I will fully make use of that functionality. One last thing, as part of Aqara's ecosystem. I love Aqara's ecosystem, and I am telling you guys all the time, it's the best place to start your smart home. I've told you that in unsponsored videos too, before anyone accuses me of that. Seriously, I love Aqara stuff, and this is a really welcome addition. If you're interested in buying one, as usual, there are links in the description as to where you can pick one up. In the meantime, these incredible people are my patrons from Patreon, and without them, I wouldn't be here. I'd be working in a call center. I am thanking one of them every week, and today is this person. I'm gonna just go to my desk and figure out who that person is, because I haven't looked them up yet. Hang on. It was that, I'd written it down. No, it's Lisa and Russell Ventura. These guys have been patrons for forever and massive supporters of the channel. Every week, Lisa goes and posts my stuff and says, hey, watch Paul Hibbert, he's great, and I can't appreciate that any more than I do. If you want to be like Lisa and Russell, please come and do so at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal. Either way, I'll genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my X's and my Threads and my Instagrams and my TikToks. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. It's been a while since I've said this, but please stop buying Philips Hue. It only encourages them to continue to make their subpar products with Aqara have finally released. That was weird. Finally. I swear I'm not 12.